In a wild and unofficial move, Denzel Washington revealed during the Gladiator II press tour that he is being written into the third Black Panther movie that will be directed by Ryan Coogler. Development on Black Panther 3, a Black Panther 3 film, has not been announced by Marvel Studios in any official capacity, but wow, what a rumor to start, Denzel. If this news turns out to be true, what are our hopes and dreams for Denzel in a Black Panther movie?
Well, hopefully the Feige snipers don't get him after this one, because I can't believe he said this. This was on a Good Morning show in Australia, just like totally random place that he decided to drop this news. That
he was like, I'm in the future, it's okay.
And yeah, he's just like casually like, yeah, Black Panther 3, of course, this movie that's never been announced or confirmed by anyone, and I'm going to be in it, and I'm one of the biggest movie stars in the entire world. And it's interesting. He was talking a lot about kind of reflecting on his late career here and how he wants to end his career as an actor. And he mentioned he's doing this Gladiator II movie. He talked about wanting to do a little bit of Shakespeare. He talks about how he's played characters from Shakespeare like Othello and stuff his whole life on Broadway, and how he wants to continue doing that to wrap up his career. But this was mentioned in that conversation of, I'm also doing this Black Panther thing. And so to me, it does speak to the idea that Denzel probably doesn't want to come into the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a fixture. Like, it didn't really give off that vibe to me. Could be wrong, obviously, but it didn't really give off the vibe that he wants to come in as like Magneto or something, like some huge character that'll be in all these movies. It really played to me like it was a one-off role, that it probably didn't even really seem like it was a character that is being pulled from a comic, almost like he's writing himself in, or he's being written into this movie as an original character. And if Denzel calls you, if you're Ryan Coogler and Denzel calls you and says, I want to be a Black Panther 3, like, you write him into Black Panther 3. Like, it literally doesn't matter. Like, you give him a role in that film. And I think it's perfect. I mean, I love the idea of just Denzel and what he's done just as an actor, and being able to come into this franchise, which has done so much to advance, particularly conversations around race and conversations around inclusion, and how Black Panther has really been sort of what you look to when you think about like doing inclusion and doing diversity in film, and what does it look like as a masterclass. People bring up Black Panther, and so the idea of bringing Denzel, an actor who's been around for decades, representing African Americans on screen and some of the biggest productions in movie history, for him to come out and be in Black Panther 3, I think is really cool. It's a cool connection. He did have a relationship with Chadwick Boseman. He was a mentor to Chadwick Boseman, and so the idea that he could come into this franchise, which has been handed off from Chadwick, is great, and brings a lot of threads together in some way. So again, I'm shocked that he said this out loud, and that it made it into the world. But hey, Black Panther 3, bring it on.
Yeah, this is nuts. This is crazy. And I feel like it's the kind of slip of the tongue that feels like a real confirmation to me. Like, I mean, obviously this does not have a stamp of approval from Marvel, and they develop movies all the time, but what I think it is confirmation of is that they are actively working on a Black Panther 3, even if it never goes anywhere, even if they're not ready to announce it, because it's not like, if Denzel is being written into it, there's something to be written into. And like, I could talk about this for a while, because what is Black Panther 3? Where is it going to fit? We still have an untitled movie in this next phase, like it's only like 2 or 3 years away. There's a slot that's still open. Black Panther could fit there. Or is it something that's after Secret Wars? Is it something that's establishing the new universe and how it's going to work? Like, I'm really floored by the idea that there is a Black Panther 3. And Denzel, I have been begging on the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. We've been talking about Denzel in Marvel for a long time. I've been saying I think he'd be the perfect Magneto. I think he would just be amazing in that role. But like, we've gone on and on about that over on MCU Cast over the years. But I'd kind of let that idea go away in my head, because I didn't. We're getting real close, and we hadn't heard anything about that. But man, him just being someone in Black Panther 3, like, that's just real exciting. And I immediately want to start like writing the movie in my head, and my first thing goes to, he's a protectionist sect. He's part of a protectionist sect that's like pushing back against the reforms that T'Challa did. because they opened themselves up to the world and immediately got attacked in a huge way. So there's going to be like protectionism forming, and I can totally see him as like an older, Wakandan trying to like rein in Shuri like politically or whatever. Like that, could totally see him in that sort of like role, and sort of antagonist, but someone who is with purposes of trying to protect his people. I just think he's so good, so good. I'm excited.
Do you think he would do a Wakandan accent? Because I look at Gladiator II, where everybody's got some kind of accent, and he's just still rocking his American accent. So Denzel does what Denzel wants to do, and he's okay.
No, I think Denzel would be kind of like
Michael B. Jordan's character.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan's character, Killmonger, who like...
Or one of the War Dogs or something.
Right. Well, maybe he's been off on assignment. That's maybe why we have never seen him. Maybe he's been off on assignment doing like... Yeah, he's working out in the world, and then he comes back and he's like, what have you done to the place that I helped build? I've been out in the world protecting this place from all these threats, and I come back and I see you've let it get flooded by these other people, and you've revealed us to the world. You've destroyed what we had, and like I'm gonna try to stop you.
To restore order, I must have power. It's a line right out of the Gladiator II trailer for you. But I'm not so concerned for Denzel. I don't think he's signed an NDA at this point. So hopefully, if this is all true and does pan out, he didn't shoot himself in the foot and effectively lose this opportunity. I actually look at the trades, and it makes me wonder how much under Marvel's thumb are these trades, because we've seen in the past where stuff like this has been picked up. They will say Marvel has declined to comment, Disney has declined to comment, but this they're not even touching. So I do get the sense that they don't. I think you're right. I think it is true.
Marvel has declined to comment.
Now they have started posting that he commented. So like Deadline put out a report.
Okay, all right. I hadn't seen those.
But it took a long time. I mean, it was just a couple hours ago. Like it took all day. Yeah, it took all day to get there. And it was like it tiptoes. It's like Denzel said this about this maybe happening movie or whatever, like it's not, they're not a confirmation. And I bet they didn't even ask Marvel Studios. They just put it out there.
Yeah.
I couldn't share this article in the group chat fast enough today when I saw it and it's funny, like on Sunday, I don't know, I needed to cry, which you guys are men, so you don't do that so much, but like I just needed to cry, and so I put Wakanda Forever on because God, that movie makes me cry, but it's so good. And I remember being like, oh, I miss this world, like we need this back in the MCU, because I feel like Wakanda and the Black Panther family and franchise and characters like is a very grounding force in the MCU, even though it's like this mystical, magical, technologically driven, amazing place. Like there's something very real about it. And I hope that it might be that unnamed movie, because I think that if you leave it too long, you're like, well, where are the Wakandans? Like they're too big of a power to be left out of the playing field. And so, yeah, I was just like, this is shocking. And what was he thinking? And he's probably also thinking, I'm Denzel Washington. Like, what's she going to do? Like, I would be too if I was him, Power to Denzel. He's the best.
There's like impetuous young Marvel actors who make this mistake, and then there's like older Marvel actors who are like, what are they got to do to me?
Yeah, like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Fire me? You can't fire me. I'm Denzel Washington. So
I feel like there's been past stories that were similar with like other actors that are like, just, I'm saying what I want to say. They talk to me about this movie, but I don't care.
He's like a Harrison Ford. Like you just... They can do what they want. So yeah, I'm excited. I hope this is true. I want this to be true. And I want us to see Wakanda on the big screen again sooner rather than later.
Well, and we know we have a T'Challa in the MCU. We have the son of T'Challa, who is named T'Challa. And I think that was probably set out there very intentionally, that character would take on the mantle of Black Panther at some point. And so theoretically, you could take this and you could set it at a certain time and find a wiggle room there where you cast someone who is probably like in their early 20s or something, but they're playing like a 16, 17-year-old person, and you could theoretically write and create the next Black Panther. I would imagine Ryan Coogler does not want to keep making Black Panther movies forever. He probably wants to hand off this franchise at some point to someone else or to Marvel Studios, and I could see him using this film as an opportunity to set up a a new age of Black Panther, set up a new character, and set up T'Challa of the future. So, yeah, I mean, Black Panther, we know what Black Panther Wakanda Forever did and what it had to do and the story that it had to tell and the directions that it had to take, and it did so just brilliantly. But I think at some point we'll probably see a turn back of this franchise to a T'Challa, right? To the son of T'Challa in the universe, and a picking up of the mantle of some sorts.
What if he's like, to take Matt's idea a little further, what if he was like a war dog that was sent on like experimental stuff, and like he ended up traveling multiversally or something like that, or time travel, and comes back? Like, that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Or even just a Wakandan from another universe who like maybe his Wakanda fell for similar reasons, and he almost like a Thanos type situation where his planet died because of lack of resources. So now he's on this, like, but he steps into our multiverse, our universe, and he's like, what did you do? Like, how did you?
Or like a Wakanda without the meteorite, like.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh.
This could be so cool. You can call us Kevin. We're totally available for ideas.
Multiversenewscast@gmail.com, Kevin. We know you're listening.